Hey, forward assist smithing here. Gonna be a long video today, guys. Today, I'm gonna assemble a complete lower. We're gonna go through the steps. We're gonna be working with the Palmetto State Armory Liberty or Death lower. First part, we're gonna run 2A takedown pins, the Armor Spec lower parts kit, we have a Spikes Tactical Castle Nut, got our buffer spring, buffer, end plate, and of course our rear stock. In this case, we're running a pistol brace. I'm going to drop in the rear takedown pin. So I'm going to take my rear takedown pin, just set it in the hole. Then your end plate, that little tube, I'm going to drop my detent down in there. Drop it in, make sure it seats, make sure it sits in the grooves of your takedown. Follow it up with your spring, like so. Spring, detent, in the hole. Now I'm going to work with just the buffer tube. Just take the stock off, just makes it easier. Run your castle nut on. Just twist it on. So I twist it all the way on, just gives me more workspace. Butt plate, the part that's raised on your butt plate, that's going to go in the hole in the back of your lower. So make sure you put that on the right direction. And we're on. Line the grooves. Just start spinning it on. Maybe. There we go. So you're spinning on. As you're spinning your butt plate, this spring is going to catch. You got to make sure you don't bend that, don't break it, don't lose it. Just tighten it up. Now that I've got it started, before I tighten it all the way up, I'm going to take my buffer retainer with the spring, drop them in the hole right in front of where your buffer tube is. So I drop my spring in, drop the retainer in. Now as I depress that and I tighten the buffer tube, that's going to catch and it's going to keep. Once you catch the lip of it, it's going to keep it from springing out and going everywhere and losing it. Okay, I screwed it in just enough to catch the outer lip, keep it from springing out. Now my spring for the detent, for the takedowns lined up. Push your butt plate closed. Once it's closed, run that castle nut down and hold it in place. Now my castle nut's in place. There's your buffer tube, buffer retainer, and your rear takedown. All in one shot. The buffer spring and the buffer, put them together, doesn't matter which end you put it in. Drop it down in the hole. Just close it off till you get past. All set. There's your rear. Pretty simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my trigger guard in. This one's going to run the mag pull. It's oversized. I'll show you later. It's oversized for firing with gloves. I prefer them over flat trigger guards. That's just me. It's all personal preference, whatever you want. Okay, once your trigger guard is installed, that's what it's going to look like. Now this one from Magpul, one end is threaded. The other end is your pin. So I thread the front, Once that's threaded, then I'll use my pin set and drive the roll pin home. All right, front side screwed in. I'm gonna use a t-shirt so that I'm not banging on the table. Take my punch, roll pin, my hammer. Line up your holes, drive it home till it's flush on both sides. Then your trigger guard will be secure. Okay, I got it started. We should be lined up. Drive it home. Flashlight fell. Now I'll finish it off. It's in place, so I'll finish it off with my punch. Next step, I found it easier to drop in my trigger, then install the selector switch. I have installed the selector switch prior to the trigger, and then I can't get the trigger underneath of the selector switch, so then I gotta take it all back apart and do it again. So I like to put the trigger in. Don't tighten everything up, just put the trigger in, then put your selector switch in. Now this install, I'm running a Rise Armament trigger, flat trigger, 3.5 pound pull to your standard 8 pound with the ARs, and an ambidextrous selector switch from Timber Creek. So this comes with your anti-walk pins. This comes with your screw set, your spring and your detent pin. You're also going to need your grip. I'm just going to put a simple Hogue rubber pistol grip on, nothing fancy.